Let me ask you a question. What if Mojang added a feature to Minecraft that completely destroyed the meaning of mining and crafting? A feature so insane that it single-handedly changed the way we all play Minecraft. And no, I'm not talking about the combat changes in 1.9, or the addition of grass paths for that matter, because obviously not. Because 1.9 also included another addition to the game that no one really talks about. End cities. You might be wondering, how are end cities a bad thing? Isn't it good we finally have an update to the end? Well, sit tight because I'm about to tell you how this update single-handedly broke Minecraft. Let's begin. Imagine it's your third day in a new Minecraft world and you are preparing to conquer the end. You spend time mining diamonds to make armor and weapons, and you visit the nether to obtain blaze rods in order to make potions and ender eyes. You also gather enough experience to enchant a power 4 infinity bow. Finally you are ready, so you set off. You kill the ender dragon in an epic battle and you venture to the End Islands. You are greeted with a city-like structure, so you decide to enter it. These purple squared shaped creatures attack you, but they are no threat. You open the loot chest and to your surprise find enchanted diamond and iron armor. You venture up the city where you find a ship floating a small distance away. Inside the ship you find a pair of wings allowing you the power of flight. Equipped with this new power and firework rockets, you fly across the end in search of more cities, taking all the loot you can. And before we continue with the video, if you would like to just go down, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, let's get straight back into it. In an instant, you had gone from having unenchanted diamond armor to multiple sets of fully enchanted armor, weapons, and tools with ease. There was no challenge. This is the first problem with end cities in Minecraft. End cities are simply too overpowered. They allow access to powerful tools, armor, and weapons, as well as other valuable resources with little to no challenge. In terms of difficulty, they are similar to a nether fortress but offer significantly better loot. When looting a nether fortress, you might be lucky to find a few pieces of gold and some iron horse armor. When looting end cities, however, you can very quickly gather enough enchanted diamond armor and tools to fill an entire inventory. Also, it is far easier to find more end cities in comparison to nether fortresses, as there are no obstructions and you can simply fly with the elytra you obtained from the first city. In order to put this theory to the test, I raided an entire end city with only unenchanted iron and diamond armor, and it wasn't difficult in the slightest. The loot end cities provide make every piece of armor, every tool, every weapon you craft prior to visiting the end obsolete. You spend so much time getting decent gear, then are overwhelmed with extremely powerful items, but it gets worse. You see, end cities also destroy many other aspects of the game. Rails. When was the last time you actually used rails in your Minecraft world? Rails used to be a huge part of early Minecraft and were not only used as transportation but to transport items. Players used to build huge railways connecting each portion of their base and even connecting multiple bases over long distances. Personally, I found railways to be one of the coolest features of Minecraft. With the addition of the elytra, however, using railways for transportation became obsolete as travelling with the elytra was far more efficient. There was no longer a need for any transportation infrastructure because players could now fly wherever they needed to go. There was something so cool about building railways to travel long distances, as it added a sense of realism to the game. Back then, travelling long distances was actually worth something, but now it is meaningless. And then there's horses, but I think by now you get the point. Not only is traversing the end easy, but the overworld too. There was no longer anything meaningful about going on long explorations. So now we can fly in survival Minecraft. What's next? Infinite inventory space? Well, yes. With the addition of shulker boxes, players can now transport more items than 99% of Minecrafters would ever need in a single inventory. Shulker boxes are also very easy to obtain and could be crafted with 2 shulker shells in a chest. In order to obtain 2 shulker shells, a player would need to kill 4 shulkers on average, which was very easy. Need to transport a large number of items? Players would no longer use a minecart and a chest, but shulker boxes and an elytra.
Wow! This is crazy!
Okay. So we've established that with this single update, this one addition to the game, players can now fly and have access to almost infinite inventory space. Surely it couldn't get worse than that. Well, remember that thing called mining? The one that is literally in the name of the game? Players don't even have to do that anymore. Once they beat the end, they are completely set and do not need to mine for almost anything. In fact, you could probably get almost as many diamonds from just raiding end cities rather than mining. In fact, you could probably get even more. Plus lots of other insanely good items too. So why would you mine? Well, at least we still have crafting, right? Oh, for fuck. Okay, so we've established that travelling in minecarts or by horseback is now obsolete. Players essentially have infinite inventory space and can even fly in survival mode. Even mining and crafting is no more to a certain degree. The question is, what can be done? In order to fix these game-breaking issues, some substantial changes must be made to the end update. I have come up with some solutions that I think, if implemented, will not only solve these problems but still keep players coming back to explore the End Islands. The first solution would be to change how elytras function, keeping it as a valuable item in the game but keeping things like railways and horseback travel still useful. The first change is to remove the ability for players to propel themselves with firework rockets when using an elytra, massively nerfing the power that they possess. This would force players to only use elytras when gliding from significant height instead of any time they need to travel. Elytras would also be unrepairable, forcing players to go back to the end if their elytra did break. Next up, the End City loot would simply need a nerf. As it stands, the loot is far too powerful and makes almost any gear you crafted prior to travelling to the end obsolete. This would be done by making diamond armor much rarer and reducing the level of enchantment. Anything found in an End City would also be enchanted with either Cursor Binding or Cursor Vanishing for an added cost of using the items. End Cities would also be much better protected with a new attack exclusive to shulkers that does significant damage even in full diamond armor and gives them an effect similar to mining fatigue. Shulkers would also spawn with more health and have plates on them for armor. These would be known as plated shulkers. A new mob, named the Gatekeeper, would also be implemented to guard the entrance of all End Cities. The Gatekeeper is tall and wide in stature and can teleport behind you and deal a crippling blow. This not only makes End Cities far more challenging but far more exciting, as players would be forced to engage in this epic battle. As an added touch, further end biomes would be introduced, with some players deciding to create settlements in the end. Finally, in order to craft shulker boxes, the player would require an extremely rare orb that is found beneath the End Islands, just above the void. Players would also be limited to holding only one shulker box in their inventory at a given time. With these changes, players now have a reason to use railways and horses again, and the essence of mining and crafting itself will be restored. Players will no longer be able to fly indefinitely and would be more creative when traversing the landscape, and could once again only carry a limited number of blocks and resources. Minecraft is no longer broken. Don't get me wrong, the End update is actually one of my favourite updates in the game. I even built a huge End base myself back in 2016 on my survival server. I just think it's a shame that with its implementation it has made many other features that were once core parts of the game obsolete. But it just seems like that is the direction Minecraft is heading. And while we can always play on older versions of the game or use mods, you will no longer find vast railways connecting bases on servers. You will never see people getting on horseback for a long journey to their new settlement. So while some might say that this update changed Minecraft for the better, I think it really changed the meaning of Minecraft. From survival to adventure, mining to exploration. I think it is safe to say that this update was the single most impactful update to the game and completely turned it on its head. The addition of End Cities completely changed the way we play Minecraft, and sadly new players will never know a time without them. A time where you had to walk and not fly. A time when you actually had to mine and craft. Thank you for watching this video. Do you agree? I'm curious to hear what you think in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.